Okay, so today let me teach you how to do column subtraction, which is the most simple method of subtraction and is one step on from a number line. It's very, very simple and it uses the same basis of column addition, which you probably already know. So today we're going to be working with the problem 423 minus 31. Quite big. Some people might be able to do this in their head, but it's easier to use column subtraction to work it out, just to make sure you're doing it right. So first of all, we need to write it out. So start with the bigger number, 423. Then we write the smaller number underneath, like so. Then draw a line underneath for our answer. You can put a little minus sign in too if you think it would help you. So much like column addition, you lay it out in columns, but with column subtraction, it matters which order you put them in. So the first number, normally your bigger one, needs to go on the top, like so. So now we've set it up, we're ready to begin. So like column addition, we work from right to left, starting with the units. So our units in this case are 3 and 1. Do 3 minus 1, which is lovely and simple. So we all know that 3 minus 1 is 2. So we can just write 2 underneath. Lovely. That's that column done. No longer have to worry about that. Next column across. 2 and 3. So much like we did with this one, we take the top number, 2, we minus the bottom number from it, 3. Now as you can see here, this is going to be a little bit trickier because this number is smaller than this number. Not to worry though, because this is where borrowing comes in. So, if your top number is smaller than your bottom number, all we need to do is borrow a number to make it larger. So, where are we borrowing from? We've completed this column, so we can't work with that one anymore. That one is all done and dusted. So we need to work the other way. So, we have a 4 in this column. We can borrow from that. So, what we do is we borrow 1 from that, put it next to our 2 to make this 12, but if we've taken 1 from 4, it can no longer be a 4, so this changes to a 3. Or if you'd borrowed 2 from it, you'd put a 2 there to make that 22, and this will become a 2 because you'd borrowed 2. However, in this case it's 4 and we've borrowed 1, so it becomes 3. Nice and simple. So now we can work out this column. So rather than it being 2 minus 3, it becomes 12 minus 3. And 12 minus 3 is 9. So we write that like so. Next column along, there is nothing here. Because we've only got one number, this is nice and simple. So what was a 4 changed to a 3. But because we don't have any number here, it's very simple. You don't need to do any maths at all. You literally just bring your number down. So that becomes 3. There we go. So we've now worked out all of our columns, we've done all of our borrowing, and we changed all the numbers accordingly. So we have our answer, 392. Therefore, 423 minus 31 equals 392. Just one more subtraction column before we call this the end of the video. So I've chosen this particular one because this one works slightly differently to the ones we've just done. It's the same concept, but it's a little bit trickier because of this, the 0. So what we do is we work it out the same way. So we've laid it out the exact same way as we did before. Bigger number on the top, smaller number on the bottom. So let's start working this out. So as usual, we always take the bottom number away from the top. So this first column, the calculation we'll do for that will be 2 minus 6, which we know will not go because 6 is larger than 2. So what we need to do is borrow to make the 2 bigger so that it's bigger than 6. So in the last one we did, we could borrow from this column. However, in this one, in this column, we have a 0. You can't borrow from nothing, but we still need to borrow something. So we just borrow from the next column along instead. So we borrow from this 3 or the 30. So you can look at this as a 30 to make it easier if you want, or you can look at it as a 3. It's up to you. But I find it's easier to look at this as a 30, so then you can still technically say I'm borrowing from the next number along. So what we need to do is we need to make this 2 bigger. So we need to turn this 2 into 12. So we take 1 from the 30. So like we did before, write the 1 next to it to turn it into a 12, like so. So it becomes 12 minus 6. But again, if we've taken 1 from this number becomes 1 smaller. So 30 minus 1 is 29. So you can cross out that and make that 29. So we can carry on working it out the same way we usually would. So 12 minus 6 is 6. So we write 6 underneath. Next one along, 9 over 1. So we have 9 minus 1, which everyone knows equals 8. So we just write 8 on the bottom. And then next one along, nice and simple again, there is only one number, so we just bring it down and don't need to do anything to it. So we've now found out that 302 minus 16 equals 286. So like you can see, it's very, very, very simple. Even if you have zeros, it just means you might need to borrow it from one column along longer than you would if you were doing it normally. But it works the same way, and providing you remember you always take the bottom number from the top number, you will be fine.